Will the Minister give way?
I think it's clear the Minister at this point is not wishing to give way.
To say I'm opposed to this, will I be prosecuted?
How did this fantastic MP, John McDonnell, ask an excellent question on Palestine Action? Well, on the debate on whether this organisation should be banned, one or two emotions were running quite high. Minister of State for the Home Office, Dan Jarvis, was going through his statement while getting it in the neck from John McDonnell, as you heard. But then he demanded a point of order.
I'm grateful to all of those who contributed to this debate. The prescription of these three organisations affirms the UK's zero-tolerance approach to terrorism. To be clear, these prescriptions would not affect anyone's legitimate and lawful right to protest, whether that's about Palestine, Gaza or anything else. The government has to take action when Palestine Action has orchestrated a nationwide campaign of property damage featuring attacks that have resulted in serious damage, attacks that have resulted in serious damage to property and crossed the legal threshold. I'm not going to give way.
Will the Minister give way?
I think it's clear the Minister at this point is not wishing to give way. He does have until 5:27, so let's see how this progresses. Minister.
These are attacks that have resulted in serious damage to property and have crossed the legal threshold from direct criminal action into terrorism. They've used violence against people responding at the scenes of attacks. Members have been charged with a series of serious offences, including violent disorder, grievous bodily harm with intent, and aggravated burglary, which is an offence involving a weapon. So this order would degrade their harmful activity. It will also reduce the threat, particularly to vulnerable individuals, from MMC's violent content, and it will reinforce our support for Ukraine and commitment to countering extreme right-wing terrorism in Europe. Madam Deputy Speaker,
Mr. McDonnell, this is a very... I'm on my feet. This is a very tight debate that has to conclude at 5:20. The Minister has time. He may wish to take your intervention shortly. Is your point of order really relevant right now?
It is. Let me explain. I want to know if this order goes through and I go out there to the demonstration that's mobilising at the moment to say I'm opposed to this, will I be prosecuted?
Not a point of order. The Minister may wish to respond. He has a few minutes to do so, but that's not a point of order. Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm happy to respond directly to the Right Honourable Gentleman's point of order. The process involving prescription action requires this House to agree it. Should it do so later this evening, it then goes to the other place and it will be for them to agree it or not. It will then be for the Home Secretary or for myself to sign an order, and the order would then become law at midnight on the night that it had been signed. I'm not going to give way to the Right Honourable Gentleman. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm grateful for the House.
Minister, continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I don't think the Right Honourable Gentleman listened to what I said. I just explained to him the process that is in place. I am grateful to all of those who've considered this matter. It is a necessary and proportionate step to protect the public and defend our values. That is, after all, the first duty of the state, and under this government, nothing will matter more. And with that, Madam Deputy Speaker, I commend this order to the House.
See what I mean? Now, I don't really know who's in the right about Palestine Action on this debate, and whether this should be banned, I'm no expert. But I did think that John McDonnell made an interesting point. If you show support for Palestine Action, would you be arrested? Well, would you? Also, again, as I say, I'm no legal expert on this and would never try to be, but my gut feeling was telling me that maybe the government was doing this to get rid of a political problem, so to speak. So, very interesting part of the debate, wasn't it? But what do you guys think? Did John McDonnell make an excellent point? Let me know down below, and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.